before today already knew about Ilyas and Duck? Raise your hand if you already knew about Ilyas and Duck. Okay, so raise your hand if you did not know about Ilyas and Duck before today. All right, so there's quite a few, which I like. I like meeting new fans and entertaining them as well. So I'm really looking forward to presenting to you today. Now, here are my 3 books. The first book that I came out with in 2012 when my oldest son was 5 years old was Ilyas and Duck's Search for Allah. Ilyas and Duck's Search for Allah. Then, I came out with a second one, Ilyas and Duck in the fantastic festival of Eid al-Fitr. And just late last year, I came out with a third book, Ilyas and Duck in a Zakat Tale, a story about giving. Really excited about this one because I had not seen a story about Zakat ever for young kids. So I was excited about that one. And just so to get this out of the way, I do have all 3 of them in this package, which is really giftable. The reason why I mention that is because later at the end of the show, when you want to hopefully purchase lots of books, this one is the only one that I have left in my hand. So no fighting. No shoving, please. I have more coming, I just didn't have them now. However, if you want that one and you don't have the other 2, you're lucky because you can buy it. It's in here. It's one of the 3. So, just to get that out of the way. All right. Now, before I start reading the book to you, I have to answer one question that people ask me all the time. They say, hey, Brother Omar, you know, we know you wrote the books, but how did you get started writing books? They're always curious, you know, the journey. I wasn't always a writer, so it's a good question. But to answer this question of how I started writing children's books, I have to go back in time. Back in time, like 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago is when I started thinking about all sorts of things that led me to write children's books. But how can I go back in time? Can I go back in time? I can think back, that's true, I can think back, but how do I actually go back in time? Can I do that? Yes. Flashback, but how do you flash back? Like how do you do that? Do you watch science fiction movies? What do they do in science fiction movies? Do they travel time? How do they do that?
Read the book.
Read the book? Well, yeah, but that doesn't help me travel time. How do I travel time?
I think I use machine.
Machine, that's right, a time machine. Now, many people think that time machines don't exist, but something I did not tell you is that I come from Washington, D.C. And in Washington, D.C., there's a big white house. And who lives in that big white house? Trump lives there today, but you know what? Before January 20th, there was a really cool guy that lived there, and I was really good friends with him. His name is Barack Obama. And when Barack Obama lived there, we were like best buddies. And so, he let me borrow his time machine. They have one, you know, the United States of America. I brought it here. Right here. It doesn't look like much. In fact, it probably looks like one of the partitions you're used to seeing, but it works like a time machine. Now stay where you are. I'm going to go on my time machine and go back in time 10 years ago, and when I come back, I will tell you the story of how I got started writing children's books. Hold on. Okay, now, how do you turn this machine on? Oh, here it is. Hello, this is Omar Khawaja from 10 years ago. And you know what? 10 years ago, I used to work in a button factory. That's right, a button factory. And all I did was push buttons in this button factory. Can you push buttons? Can you do that? Okay, so one day I was pushing buttons and my boss, he came to me, he said, hey, O. You know, they call me O for Omar. He said, hey, O, Are you busy? I said, no. Pushing one button. Then push this button with your left hand. So I started pushing with my left hand also. Two hands. Come on, guys. Hello, my name is O, and I work in a button factory. I have a house, a dog, and a family. One day, my boss, he said to me, "Are you busy, O?" I said, "No." Then push this button with your right foot. Come on. Hello, my name is O, and I work in a button factory. I have a house, a dog, and a family. One day, my boss, he said to me, "Are you busy, O?" I said, "No." Then push this button with your left foot. Hello, my name is O, and I work in a button factory. I have a house, a dog, and a family. One day, my boss, he said to me, "Are you busy, O?" I said, "No." Then push this button with your nose. Hello, my name is O, and I work in a button factory. I have a house, a dog, and a family. One day, my boss, he said to me, "Are you busy, O?" I said, wait a minute. Hold on a second. You know, I was sitting here pushing buttons, and my boss, he came to me and said, push more buttons. And so I pushed more buttons, and then he said, push more buttons, and more, and more, and more. And I started to think to myself, was this really important? Pushing buttons? Was it really meaningful? Was I helping anyone by pushing buttons? And you know what? Right around this time, I was gonna have a little baby for the very first time. That's right, I was gonna be a dad. And that little tiny baby has started making me think about all sorts of things. He started making me think about what kind of dad I was gonna be. Was I gonna be just a button-pushing dad? No, I didn't want to be just a button-pushing dad. I wanted to be super dad. That's right. But I didn't know how to be super dad. I didn't know how to be super dad. Then 5 years went by. 5 years went by, and I lost some hair. Right, man? And now that baby was how old? How old was that baby now? Paying attention. 5 years old. He was a baby. 5 years went by. The baby's now 5 years old. Very good. And at 5 years old, he started asking me all sorts of questions about the world around him. He started asking me about space, about science, about bugs. He started asking me all sorts of questions. And one question he asked me had me stumped. He said, "Hey, Baba, you talk about Allah all the time, but where is He? Where is Allah?" What would you say if my son asked you where Allah was? What would you say? Where is He? Yes.
He's everywhere and...
Everywhere? Oh. I don't see Him. I don't see Him. What do you mean He's everywhere? I don't understand. Yes, where is Allah?
In heaven.
Heaven, okay. Okay, can I use Google Maps to get there? Let's go. What? No? Where's heaven? Another question. Where's Allah? What would you say where Allah is? Yes, say it out loud. In the sky? Whoa, let me go see Him. I don't see Him. I just see some clouds. Wait, 7 skies? Oh my goodness. 7, there's 7 of them? But you know what, wait, hold on a second. Can we see Allah? We can't see Him. So what else, wait, I think I know what you said. What else can't we see, but we know that is there? What? What? Angels, okay, but we don't okay, this is what I was getting at. Take your arm and do this. Do this with your arm, just don't hit the person next to you. Okay, do you feel something on your arm? Do you need somebody? Oh. Okay, what do you feel? What do you feel? Oh, air. But can you see air? You can't see air, but you feel something, and that you know that feeling is a clue that must be air, that feeling, right? Same thing with Allah. You can't see Allah, but there are clues that Allah is all around us. There are clues that Allah is around, that He exists, okay? All right? The clues are you, me, the stars, the mountains, the ocean. All those are clues. And when I figured that out, I wrote my first book just like that to help my son understand where is Allah. I'm going to read that to you now. Oops. It's just 9696. The first one, yeah. So you're going to put a mic here or not? Oh, this one's on. Oh, you need to go back and forth? Just leave it, leave it. Leave it then. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Is this better? Hello, check, check. Right here? Is this better? This is better, okay. I'll try to hold it just like this. This is hard. Okay, ready? Here we go. Flip it. One more. One night, Ilyas snuggled into bed and thanked Allah for his mother, father, and best friend, Duck. Then, as he slowly drifted to sleep, Ilyas began to wonder, where is Allah? She's gonna need it though. She's gonna need it. Just use that. What? It's on. It's on. Just hit the next arrow. Early the next morning, Duck noticed Ilyas in the backyard, staring up at the sky. What are you looking at? Asked Duck. I'm looking for Allah, replied Ilyas. So Duck walks back into the house, goes into the toy chest, and comes out with something in his hand and says, here, try these binoculars. They help you see things that are far away. Got binoculars, guys? So Ilyas looked through the binoculars, and all he could see were a few puffy clouds and a plane flying by. You won't see Allah with those binoculars,
said the hoopoe sitting on the branch of the tree nearby. What do you mean? Asked Ilyas. But the hoopoe didn't answer. It just flew away. Maybe we need to get closer to the sky to see Allah, suggested Duck. Ilyas agreed. So they put on their backpacks and climbed to the peak of the tallest mountain. That's where they saw an alpine ibex. We're looking for Allah, said Ilyas. Do you know where we can find him?
Yes,
replied the longhorn goat.
Allah's all around us. He made the mountains as tall as can be. But you can't see Allah like you can see me, no.
What do you mean? Asked Ilyas. But the alpine ibex didn't answer. He just trotted away. Maybe Allah is somewhere in the ocean, suggested Duck. Ilyas agreed. So they put on their scuba gear and dove to the bottom of the deepest ocean. That's where they saw an anglerfish. We're looking for Allah, said Ilyas. Do you know where we can find him? Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yes,
replied the sharp-toothed fish.
Allah's all around us. He gave me gills so I can breathe. But you can't see Allah like you can see me, no.
What do you mean? asked Ilyas. But the anglerfish didn't answer. He just swam away. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Maybe Allah is in the rainforest. Bloop, suggested Duck. Ilyas agreed. So they put on their safari outfits and hiked into the warm and wet rainforest. That's where they saw a mandrill. We're looking for Allah, said Ilyas. Do you know where I can find him?
Yes,
Replied the colorful monkey.
Allah's all around us. He gave me these colors that make me unique. But you can't see, like you can see me, no?
What do you mean? Asked Ilyas. But the mandrill didn't answer. He just swung away. Maybe Allah's in outer space, suggested Duck. Ilyas agreed. So they climbed into the rocket ship and blasted off to space. That's where they saw
millions of stars in space and the beautiful Earth below. Wow, this is amazing, exclaimed Ilyas. It sure is, replied Duck. But where is Allah? I think I know the answer, replied Ilyas. Now I understand what all those animals were trying to tell us about Allah. What do you mean, asked Duck. Well, Duck, Allah's the one who made the universe and everything else that you see. From the mountains to the oceans, even you and me. But we can't see Allah the same way I can see you. We see Allah through all His creations. And through them, we believe Allah to be true. That night, Ilyas lay in bed smiling. He had learned that Allah was all around him. Then he closed his eyes and fell fast asleep. The end. Thank you so much. Not yet. So, I hope you enjoyed that story. You know, there's another question that people ask me all the time. They say, you know, we know you wrote the stories now, but did you also draw? Did you also illustrate the stories? And the answer to that is no, I didn't illustrate. I can't really draw that well, but I do have a good imagination. So I made a team with someone named Leo Antolini. Now, Leo Antolini, he's my illustrator. And the interesting thing about Leo, he's not even Muslim. Well, secondly, the interesting thing about Leo is when I met him for the first book, he was living in Argentina. Where is Argentina? Where's Argentina? Raise your hand. South America, very good. Argentina, South America, very good. Then, believe it or not, he went to Berlin. By the time I wrote my second book, he was living in Berlin. Where's Berlin? Raise your hand. You know where Berlin is? If you do, I'm gonna be like really excited. Germany! Oh my goodness, watch this kid. Watch him right there. Oh, I think your name is Ilyas, isn't it? Woo! Germany, that's right, Berlin's in Germany. And now, believe it or not, Leo Antolini is living in Barcelona. Where's Barcelona? Raise your hand. Yes? Spain, very good. He's in Spain, you okay? So, here's the lesson, guys. I didn't know how to draw, but that did not stop me from creating something great. I just found somebody that I can work with. So if you don't know how to do something, it's okay. It's okay. You find somebody that does and you partner with them, you team up with them to create something very great, okay? So, do you want to meet Leo? Sure? Why not? You guys sound so enthusiastic. All right, so I told Leo we're going to be here, so let's see what he's up to. I think he might be a little bit busy. great guy. I'll enjoy working with him. And he loves the Ilyas and Duck project. Okay, so because the first book, people really liked it, they wanted me to write another one, so I was thinking about what book to write. And then I had this really interesting idea to write about Eid al-Fitr. Now, can somebody tell me what Eid al-Fitr is? Raise your hand, yes. What is it?
Fitr is about pray. You have to help the poor people, and also you have to pray to Allah.
That is true, all of that is true. But the actual words Eid al-Fitr, what is it? Like, what do you do during Eid al-Fitr? Yes, what is it? Very good. Perfect answer, great answer. What's your name? Ali? Ali, how old are you, Ali? How old are you? You're 6? Oh, did you know I was also 6 when I was your age? Huh, so much in common, Ali. We'll talk later. So yeah, Ali's right. Eid al-Fitr is a celebration after Ramadan, right? The Ramadan is a month. So, you know what's really cool? I got the inspiration of writing this book from something that our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said. Our Prophet Muhammad said that there's an Eid for every nation, and this is our Eid. And what he meant by that is when he says every nation, he's talking about people that are not Muslim, people from somewhere else. And he says they have their own holidays because the word Eid means holiday. So he says every nation has its own Eid, they have their own holidays, but we have our own. And when he's doing that, he's actually showing us that we should respect other people. And when we respect other people, they will respect us back. And it makes a more beautiful world. Okay? So I'm going to read you that story now, the Eid al-Fitr story, which is inspired by what our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said. Okay? Here we go. All right, here we go. Ilyas smiled as he looked to the night sky. A pleasant sight did he see with his eye. There it was, a sliver of a waxing crescent moon. A blessed Ramadan had come to an end, and Eid al-Fitr festival begins soon. Duck! Ilyas called out early the next morning. I saw the crescent moon last night. That means today is Eid. It's time to celebrate! Woohoo!
Exclaimed Duck. Then he dashed through the house and out the front door. Duck returned a short while later, carrying a pine tree, wreath, and a sack of presents.
Let's celebrate Eid!
Said Duck.
What? 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 This is not how you celebrate Eid? What's this then? Christmas? What's Christmas?
Christmas is for our Christian neighbors. It's a special time of the year, replied Ilyas. It's when carolers sing, the sleigh bells ring, and the friendly red-nosed reindeer.
Ah, I see.
Responded Duck with enlightenment. Then he bolted out the front door. Duck returned a short while later, carrying a menorah, dreidel, and a powdered jelly donuts.
Let's celebrate Eid!
Said Duck.
What? This is not Eid? Hanukkah, what's Hanukkah?
Hanukkah is for our Jewish friends. Is a miraculous festival of lights, replied Ilyas. It's when families come by and dreidels fly for 8 days and 8 nights. Duck was confused. Duck was curious. Duck had an idea. He thought it was ingenious.
Maybe we can learn about Eid al-Fitr at the masjid,
suggested Duck.
Ilyas agreed. So they climbed into their hot air balloon and sailed into town. That's where they saw hundreds of people hurrying along and a robin in a bush chirping a song. Today's Eid, said Ilyas. Do you know how we can celebrate the day? Yes, replied the melodious songbird. Eid, for our Muslim community, is a festival of breaking the fast. It's when the first Shawwal brings merriment for all, and the joy of Ramadan has passed. To start the day, Salat al-Eid we pray, but before we pray, Zakat al-Fitr we must pay. Friends and family are who we meet, offering mountains of treats for us to eat. Now, grown-ups smell nice, sometimes. We wear new clothes. What's in those presents, you will soon know. Some do crafts, some bake for fun. Some go to amusement parks. 3, 2, 1. Now, Eid above all is a time to be compassionate, a time to be grateful, to help those less fortunate. So we thank Allah for His blessings today. That's how we celebrate this most exciting day. Eid was fun, said Duck. Can we do it again next year? We sure can, replied Ilyas. Inshallah. The end. All right, I hope you enjoyed that one. I have time for one more story. Do you want to hear one more story? Please say yes, because I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, there you go. All right, very good. All right, but listen up. I need quiet on this one. I need really quiet. Parents, please try to just kind of maintain the kids a little bit, because this one I'm gonna explain the story a little bit. There's no character hats in this one. There's no confetti. By the way, you can't eat that confetti. It's not edible. It's just paper. There's no confetti. There's nothing. It's just me, you, and the story. Now, this story is about zakat. Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what zakat is about? What's zakat?
Giving away money.
Giving away money. Very good, very good. You have to give money to certain people that need it, right? Okay. Is zakat the same thing as charity? You say yes. Okay. Give me an example of charity. Give me an example of charity. Besides money. Canned of food. Now you got me all twisted. Cans of food, right? Cans of food. Okay. Okay, that's charity. You can give that away. True. What else? Give me another one. Is Smile a smile charity? A smile. Okay. So let me just use that for a second. Kids, pay attention. Oh, this is very important. Can you sit back there? Can you stand up? I'm sorry, whoever's child this is. I just have to control the crowd here. All right. So, everybody, please pay attention. The difference between zakat and charity. Now, charity can be a smile. Zakat has to be money that goes to poor people that need it. The reason why there's a difference is because if a poor person needs what? Food, shelter, and clothing. Those are the basic needs. Food, shelter, and clothing. Now, if a poor person goes into a restaurant and smiles at the guy behind the counter and says, may I have a hamburger, please? Oh, sorry. May I have a halal hamburger, please? And he smiles at him. Do you think he's going to get a burger? He's not going to get a burger with a smile. He needs what? He needs money. And that's the main difference, okay? Zakat is different than charity. Okay? Remember that. Now, I want... Guys, we're going to get through this. I know everybody's excited at the confetti. Okay. There are 3 characters in this story that I have to explain. 3 characters. Pay attention, please. Character number 1 is an aristocrat. That's an aristocrat. Now, during the times of the kings and queens, aristocrats were rich people, people that had a lot of money. They had a lot of money and they had a lot of power. Today, aristocrats are like your parents, right? Rich and powerful. This is a peasant. During the times of the kings and queens, peasants were people that didn't have much money at all. Those are the ones that needed zakat, okay? In today's times, peasants are like teachers. They don't have much money. Get it? Oh, sorry. I passed that joke by my wife. She's a teacher, so it's okay. I'm sorry I offended anybody. Peasants, okay? Third one. This is a businessman, a business person, okay? A business person. What is a business person? That's like Target. You guys shop at Target? Okay, so Target. What does Target need in order to stay in business? What it needs money. Money? Cash. Where does the cash come from? Your mommy, right? Your mommy's a customer, right? So Target needs customers. The business owner needs customers. Guys, quiz. In a world where there's only three people, the rich person that has money, the person that has zero money, and the businessman, how many customers will this businessman have? How many customers? Say it out loud. Okay, so this is one. He has money, he can spend money at the store. She can't spend money at the store, she has no money, right? So it's only one customer, right? One customer. Now, if he gives zakat, some of his money here, right? Now how many customers does the store owner have? Two. Guys, this is two fingers. Because he still has money. He gives some of his zakat to her. She has money now and she can buy things. And now he has two customers. Okay, you get that? Very important. I'm going to read you the story now. Look for these characters. Go to the next tab. Yeah, right there. Two over. Actually, you should do this. Let's go here because they're young kids. All right. The kids are a little bit young, so I'm going to jump to the story within the story here, okay? This is a fairy tale. Once upon a time, not far away, a noble king was unhappy. His land was in disarray. His people were kind-hearted, but to his dismay, when they stopped giving zakat, the community began to go astray. Now, I know those are big words, but I'm going to explain it to you in a minute. This is what happens when you don't give zakat. When you don't. The aristocrats, remember them? They're the ones with money. Well, when the aristocrats don't give money, when they don't give zakat, they begin to develop a culture of hoarding and greed, caring only for themselves and not for those in need. The peasants, remember them? They didn't have any money. Well, when they don't get zakat, they begin to harbor feelings of resentment and envy, having barely enough to live, while others have plenty. And the businessmen, well, when people are not giving zakat, they have less customers. So they began to lose customers who once shopped at their stores because people couldn't afford to buy things anymore. Until finally one day, the king said to the crowd, "This selfish behavior Allah does not allow. When you care only for yourselves, it puts the community in distress. That's why Allah says to give zakat. It's His plan to help you more, not less." You mean give my money away? Yeah. How does giving my money away help me? So then the king explained to the crowd how it can be that giving from their wealth was good for them indeed. This is how it works, guys. Pay attention. This is you with one bag of money. This is the person that needs zakat, okay? You give them zakat, you get a star from Allah. He rewards you, okay? Then that person that has the zakat does something with it. They buy food, shelter, or clothing, basic needs. And once they do that, or maybe they even buy a suit so they can go get a job. Or maybe they buy something to start a business. Either way, they start becoming more productive. I'll tell you what that means in a second, being more productive. Once they're more productive, in the community does better. Who else is in the community? All of you. And when the community does better, you do better because you're in the community. All right. I know the adults followed that, but let me just break it down for the kids. Imagine there's a bathtub. You know what a bathtub is? Okay. Imagine there's a bathtub. And let's pretend that the bathtub is a community. Like, how do you say it? Dublin or Dublin? Dublin, you said Dublin, okay. So Dublin, Ohio is a community, right? So imagine the bathtub is all of Dublin, Ohio. Now in the bathtub, there's some water, okay? The water is how productive people are, how much they're working in the community. Now let's say the water is only halfway. And on top of the water is a rubber ducky. That's you. You're the rubber ducky sitting on top of the water. Now if you turn on the water in the bathtub, that means you're getting more people to be more productive. They're working more. When you turn on the water and they're being more productive, what happens to the water in the bathtub? It rises, and then what happens to you that's sitting on the water, the rubber ducky, what happens to you? You also rise. So when the community does better and rises, you are in the community and you're sitting on top of the water, you also rise, you benefit. And that's how your 1 bag of money somehow turns into 2 bags of money. That's how it works. Oh, go back, sorry. But that wasn't all. The king said one more thing. Know that your wealth is a gift from Allah, and sharing it is a great blessing from Him. Then the king decreed with a wave of his hand, zakat you shall give. We must follow Allah's plan. The king's news spread quickly, by land, through the air, across the woods, and overseas. Avast me hearties, ye must give zakat and bring out harmony. That's how pirates talk. Some time went by, 1 year or 2, maybe even 3, and Allah's plan was working, just like the king said it would be. Because when the people with a lot started giving the zakat, it improved many lives and softened many hearts. What is he doing? He's giving money, right? Because he has it. What is she doing? She's taking the money, right? Because she needs the zakat. What is she doing with the money? What does she do with the money? What? I can't hear. Say loud. Oh, she's buying a fabric sewer thingy, otherwise known as a sewing machine. She's buying a sewing machine with that money. What is she doing with the sewing machine? She's making clothes, and then what is she doing with those clothes? She's selling them. Wait a second. Are you telling me that this person that was poor took zakat money, and now she started a business, and now that business is making her money? That's what you're telling me? So now she probably doesn't even need zakat anymore, right? She's probably not even that poor anymore because she started a business. And remember the businessmen? Well, when people start giving zakat, when they give it, the zakat was also good for the businessmen in their stores because now they have all these customers lined out the door. She's a customer. She's the one who bought the sewing machine. She wasn't a customer before. In the end, harmony returned to the land. People gave zakat and worked hand in hand. They stopped being selfish like they once were. And when they put trust in the guidance from Allah, they lived together, happily ever after. The end. That's it. That's all the books that I've written so far. I am working on more books. People are asking me for more. So, inshallah, I'll have a couple more books out before next Ramadan. I'm really trying to speed it up a little bit. One of my next books is about Ramadan. And I'm super excited about that because I think it'll go nicely with the Eid book. And it's a great story too, I think. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I think I have probably a few minutes for a couple of questions. And then we're going to go back there if you wanted to say hello. Okay, yes.
The book after the end.
Okay, so this book, this story has a story within the story. So I read you that fairy tale that's in the story of the book. The book has more in it. Yeah, Ilyas was reading the story to Doug. In the story. Yes. How old am I? You know, it's interesting how kids ask that. Kids ask that. I'm older than 10, younger than 50. Somewhere around there. Somebody guessed 40, okay. Oh yes, I have books back there. Let me go back there. If you brought your own books, please bring them back there. I'll sign them for you.